Hello everybody and welcome to another episode on the Celtic Now and For podcast. My name is Ryan Clifford and today we're joined by two guests who are on before in the podcast, Robert Boyle and John Clifford. Robert, John, how are you doing, guys?
You know what?
Hi, thank you.
Well, obviously lads, it's been a turbulent time the last week or so. Obviously Dubai and the result against Hibs and everything that came with it. Obviously, Robert, treat yourself, your kind of first thoughts and really the week it's passed.
I'm not even shocked anymore, Ryan. The Circus Act it's been. We did discuss last week that Dubai we didn't agree with it, but we thought, right, if that's what we feel it has to be done, let them go and try and refresh. But remember what I said? I said, what happens if we come back with all sorts of COVID cases? And any slim hope we thought of winning the league is now gone. It's completely finished in my eyes. And I would say we've been the biggest fuck up that we could ever have been. Celtic themselves this season. I think if you put David Murray in charge of Celtic, he couldn't have made as much of a mess as our actual club have done at Celtic right now. We have just been absolutely arrogant, blinkered. How else will I explain it? Blinkered, arrogant, just a total joke, mate, for the summer. For 18 months now, we have known that the other mob were going to come and try and, like, they were getting better and better year by year, but I feel our board just brushed them all aside all the time. Thought they'll never do it, and they've no got money, they've no got this. And our own arrogance and neglect and stupidity has cost us 10 in a row. Cost us getting into Champions League time after time, gambling with players. Never signed a centre half, which we've been screaming out for about 4 seasons. Never signed a winger when we knew Forrest was out early in the season. They told us January they were going to build for next season. We don't even know who's going to be the manager next season or going to be Neil Lennon. To me, it's just one big massive circus act. I don't even let it go with it now. What to say about it, right?
And obviously yourself, John, what's your kind of thoughts on what's been happening recently?
Most Celtic fans thought this was going to be maybe the biggest season in history. If that's the case, then it could also have been Rangers. For Rangers to lose the 10 to Celtic, the implications are Celtic winning the league this year financially for Rangers would have been catastrophic. It would have been worse than what we went through before, I think. It would have totally blitzed them. And the fact that it might have put them down where they were before, because they need the money through Europe this season, which they're getting. They're going to get money through winning the league, although it's only a couple of million. It will get them into the Champions League qualifiers next year, more money. No doubt, Rangers win the league this year, their fans will buy season books. Even if it's no football next season, they'll buy season books to follow their team, because that's what they do. How many share issues do they had, and they just keep putting their hand in their pocket all the time. But Celtic's missed a trick this season, because it would have put them back in their place again. It would have put them back 5 years again. But it's not to be. The league was done a couple of weeks ago after getting beat by Rangers. Even though Celtic played well for an hour or whatever, but it's gone, end of.
And then obviously the Bygate, shall we call it, and the jolly that was supposed of not to have happened. Obviously, Rob, we spoke about it, but obviously what's been happening after it, the repercussions, should I say, after Dubai, with Julian's positive tests and players isolating, and then we're kind of still defending it. But we'll talk about Lawwell's statement later. But before the statement today, they were kind of defending it. Every player was kind of defending it. Every day with Celtic, former players were really going against them. And I kind of spoke about Andy Walker. I thought it was spot on, saying that obviously he doesn't feel that this is a club he played for. The way we're going about our business now, and for me, Robert, I think he's kind of right, and I think every criticism that we deserve is spot on.
Aye, for everybody in the media, even some wankers that we don't agree with most times, I can't disagree with them this time. I think you've even got guys like Pat Boner now coming out and slating the club for the way they've acted. Let's be honest, Ryan. Chartered flight just for Celtic, 30-40 members of staff. A guy who's out for 4 months managed to go on this trip, which is meant to be a winter training camp, to get players in peak condition to go the rest of the season. To me, that wasn't what that was. To me, the photos are learning, and I'm not saying they shouldn't be sitting at a pool having a beer, right? They're entitled to that. On your holidays and stuff like that, but they're not meant to be there on holiday. They're not meant to be there in a pandemic. To me, and the way Scott Brown comes out the paper and still defends it. Peter Lawwell defended it up until the statement today. Celtic Football Club defended it. They must have spent at least £500,000 on that trip in the middle of a pandemic, when we've already been revamped with COVID, when the people can't go and visit their grannies around the corner, can't go and visit their mums and dads, can't go and see their grands in care homes. People are losing their jobs through this, and they've went for a job 5 days in Dubai. £500,000, just say for instance, that's roughly I would estimate it at. Come back, we've had 13 players revamped with COVID, can't play our team, had to put a reserve team out against Hibs. Hibs didn't even want to play the game because they were scared in case any other players get COVID. It's just, to me, it's just absolutely atrocious mismanagement. Lennon's got to take a lot of the blame, Celtic PR's got to take a lot of the blame, Lawwell. But you know what? They're that arrogant, they're not taking the blame. And that apology today, to me, was just, it was garbage. We should be apologising for the state he's left Celtic in. That we're not in the Champions League, we're not in the Europa League, we're not in the League Cup, and we're out of the league. And it's I think that all happened on the 11th of January. So realistically, we should all get a refund in our season books, because they said that season book's to last a season. The season book's gone. We've no been given what we're paid for. At the football club, I think it's absolutely atrocious that they've blew £25 million of people's money and gone trips to Dubai, and players that are absolute bang average that they've brought in. There's nobody that's come in and really improved this in the summer, as far as I could see.
Because obviously you were talking about 25 million, right? As you say, realistically, right, that's a £25 million donation to Celtic, because fans can't go to the game, and they're buying season books, they're buying strips, they're buying virtual programmes, they're buying fucking virtual one-fall raffle tickets. So realistically, you're maybe talking 27 million, £28 million on, including your strips and all that, and training gear. And for me, that's a donation, really. It's really a donation, and it's a total. You're no one too angry because you're trying to talk right, but it's very hard to not get angry. And obviously yourself, John, which kind of your thoughts on the Dubai gate?
I think you have covered Dubai. Just to put it short, it shouldn't have went. End of. The only team in Europe to go for a winter training camp. Fucking shambles. You spoke about it before we went, Ryan, as well. What the dangers of COVID is high in the agenda for everybody. I just don't understand how there wasn't more people in the Celtic bubble have had to self-isolate. Regarding Julian, if Julian was going for rehabilitation, should I say, then the physios, it's hands-on work. Is the physios been isolating? Has anybody thought of that?
Yeah, that's true.
He's not been earning fucking doing his own physio work, has he? He's had people working with him, allegedly, but I smell shite. Regarding what paying season book money and whatever, knowing you're not going to go out again, Celtic's supposed to have brought all sorts of records with the new Adidas merchandise as well, Ryan. You're not talking to a £3 million. I think it'll be a lot more than that.
Because it pre-season, obviously we've we've got guys in, and it did look a decent window, and you're thinking, right, spent a bit of money, kick on, but and then you're talking about the training gear, the season books. Oh, we've signed this record-breaking deal for Celtic, Adidas, and it says on the advertising that they're no for second best and all that, and then it's just been a shit show for the beginning. For the start of the season, you're thinking, right, spent a bit of money, Adidas gear, brilliant, season books are flying in, we're looking good, and it's just been a total shit show. And as you says about Julian, why did he even go? See, like, I've been injured in the past, I've been out for a long periods of time playing football. I didn't go to training. Even if there was a physio, I didn't go to training because there's no need for me to go to training. Why? That's the same as I know. It's different going to Dubai because you're going there for a reason. Supposedly they're going for a reason. So why he's not going to be playing maybe the rest of the season? So why is he there?
See the Galvin Julian, he's supposed to, it's a knee injury, isn't it? I don't know the extent of the damage. Say it's ligament damage. He's obviously going for a bit of swelling. The worst thing, anybody that's medically minded will tell you, the worst thing you can do is go on a fucking aeroplane. The worst thing you can do.
No, that's right, aye.
That's right. So
that's right, aye.
Smells shite, definitely.
I think everybody's the same. It's very. I don't understand it myself. As you says, a guy who, see, to be fair, I don't think anybody knows the full extent of his injury. We just know it's a knee injury. There's no community says it's an ACL or a PCL or cartilage. There's no told us nothing. Unless I've missed it, but I've no actually seen the extent of the injury. So even then, man, knee injuries, any injury, you don't go away in a week to Dubai when you should be here getting your rehab here.
No, I've no need to go to Dubai when you've got a supposedly state-of-the-art training ground and rehabilitation centre in it. There's no need to go anywhere else for your rehab. That's what Lennoxtown's for.
Peter Lawwell said it's a world-class training facility. So what's £8 million at Lennoxtown then? What is that?
I know.
And see if they're going to go to a winter training camp, go to Siberia or something, freezing cold. Why do they need to go to Dubai in the sunshine? And they can do a Rocky workout there in fucking Siberia. You know what I mean? It's just...
I don't know if it was... Sorry, Robert. It was Lennon or Lawwell saying they were going for performance reasons to try and get them performing better. See the ins and outs of that. How could they not just done it here? Why do you need fucking 20 odd degrees to do that for what they were going to work on? Could have done everything they've done over there, here, end of.
And it's all this crap, they have no bonding session. No team, anybody that's went into any team in the world football haven't got time to bond. It's not just Celtic. He keeps telling you Celtic's the worst affected. Celtic's affected by it the same as any other team worldwide. And any signings that come in don't get to bond with their players because that's just the way it is worldwide. But he doesn't try to make excuses of the pandemic, how we've been the worst affected by it. To me, no, it is. They've made all the mistakes and they're trying to blame a pandemic on it. They should have sacked the manager months ago. They never done it. Their signings were atrocious because the number one targets they went for didn't want to sign or they couldn't afford them. So they went for number twos and number threes. It's not worked. It's just totally been, for the very start, everything's just been gambled on the first thing, the first player that's coming in. Oh, it's not happening. Oh, we're going to scramble, get a goalkeeper in because Foster's not appeared. Tony, we can't get him in. Oh, we need to scramble, try and get a Yeti in. A guy who knocked his back and went on holiday for 2 weeks and then decides to sign. And I think he's still on holiday because I've not seen him doing it at Celtic. He's never fit. Well, with our performance levels for under Rodgers to Lennon, I would say, has dropped fitness-wise about 30%. It's ridiculous. It's just totally neglected the team, how the standards we'd set, you know.
See, obviously, you're talking about the fitness and the training has been downhill. Ronnie Dyer said the same when he came in after Lennon. He says the training wasn't up to standard, the fitness wasn't. So if that guy doesn't really know Neil Lennon, he doesn't really know Celtic, and he's come in and thought, I need to change this. I think that's why he came in and overhauled the full thing. And that's why I think players didn't like it, because they didn't get what they wanted. It was a strict regime diet. If it didn't work for them, it didn't work for them. But you've got to follow what the manager tells you. You've got to respect the manager. And I generally don't think see the fact that players keep coming out saying we respect the manager and we're playing for the manager. That tells me you're not playing for the manager, because if you have to come out and justify everything you're doing, for me, that, as my dad says, it smells shite. John's right about, my opinion. I think it does smell a bit like shite. Lawwell's just, for me, as you say, he's backtracking, using the pandemic as a mistake. As for the mistakes. And we all know. Listen, we all know that fans aren't daft. You can put the will of the fans for so long, but for me, John, I think everything you've said spot on, because, and as Robert says about the board, it's ridiculous now.
Taking the fans for granted now. The fans spend an absolute fortune going to support their team and paying for strips and merchandise, whatever. It's the fans' club. They're only fucking looking after it for them and the positions they're in. The fans should have a say. People's been saying for years, don't know what you think, Robert, it should be somebody for the fans on the board, or somebody that's involved in some capacity. Because if there was somebody in that capacity, they'd be scheming for the rooftops after the Ferns-Varos game.
There's the Celtic Trust, John, who's trying to get everybody's old shares. And they're trying to turn that in, so they've got so many shares that then get a voice on the board. That's the only one I know that's now pushing forward to try and get a voice on, and they're trying to raise something like £5 million a year to push on, and then within 5 years they'll have £30 million, which they can turn into £30 million worth of shares. But I think as they grow bigger, there'll be more people involved in it. It will get bigger and bigger, and then we will have a voice on the board, because I feel like the communication for Celtic board and the fans is drifted out at sea. It's miles long. It's like there's no communication. They just, like, obviously everything that happened down at Celtic Park, the fans came down and protesting and stuff. All they had today was come out and make statements and explain to us what's happening. They told us January was going to be a key month. I've not seen us signing anybody yet, or even linked to anybody. And to me, you need to act now, coming up for qualifiers next year, because every year we get caught short and we're trying to sign players into the third qualifying. It doesn't come in fit. It's just everything. We've no learning from our past mistakes and everything we're doing, in my opinion.
Back in the 90s, you had the Celts for Change movement. There are cut wee smaller movements, kind of forced their hand. I'm not saying that's going to happen again, but discontent is certainly growing anyway, isn't it?
Aye, 100%. I would like to see what Des McDermott's saying in this full stuff, because I don't know, he's too busy on a golf field or sitting in his millionaire's pad. To me, I'd rather get him out. I know he's a big money backer and he's the one with the money, but I'd rather have somebody that was there week in, week out and taking today with Celtic. To me, he's no interest. He's only there taking a wage or whatever he's doing, because everybody says he does this and does that. For me, he's no really a Celtic supporter like ourselves. Who cares as much as we do? All right, he's got the money in that sense, but there's other guys out there that's got money to match him that cares more about Celtic that I'd rather have in charges.
You want somebody more hands-on?
More hands-on, John. More dealing with it. And Peter Lawwell's got too much running the club and too much people on his puppet strings, in my opinion.
You see, obviously you were talking about Desmond there, and I can agree with Andy Walker for the post-match for their night against Hibs, which we're going to after talk about the board. He was saying Dermot Desmond's, he's got to come out. He's got to come out and explain it to the fans, and it's probably one of the only times I've actually sat up and listened to Andy Walker, because not fans of Andy Walker, know what fans are like, soup taker, all that carry on, but he actually spoke sense, and I could see him talking. He was getting a bit angry. So again, we might give Andy Walker some criticism maybe that he shouldn't get, because maybe the guy does care and maybe he's just doing his job. But for me, when he was on Sky the other day, he was getting a bit angry. He was talking about how Desmond's got to come out and face this, tell the fans what's happening, because let's be honest, see, unless you're actually in the know with Celtic, none of us know nothing. They've not told us nothing, absolutely jack shit. Dubai, it was brilliant, it was fine. But there's a big difference between going last year and the year before than during a time like this. As you says, I can't go down and see my nana, I can't go and do this, I can't go see my pals, you can't go see this and that. My dad can't go to football, but they can fly to Dubai. It's morally wrong. I understand that the government have says, you can go, but what the fuck? It's use your common sense, and that's where I think Desmond has got to step up to the plate. I know there's one or two other shareholders involved, but he's one of the major shareholders. He's got to stop having Lawwell for me as his puppet, and he's got to come out and step out and actually explain to the fans and the guys who are involved with Celtic, this is what's happening. Because for me, as you says, this should have been 10. I don't care what anybody says. We've got the batting, we've got the money. We should be going for 10. For me, 10 should have been gone and done. We've been shouting for 10 in a row for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Brilliant. We've got to that stage, and the board, and he's talking about the statement when he was talking about maximising potential. Maximising potential was getting to 10, and for me, Peter, you've totally done something the fans will never forgive you on, in my opinion.
They talk about being an elite club, right? Ryan, it bangs on about this all the time. We're a Champions League club. We're a Champions League club. A Champions League club makes a Champions League every year or every couple of years. When was the last time we won the Champions League? 2017?
Rodgers won it.
Aye. And before him, it was a few years before that, because we made it 2 years in a row under Rodgers. And then it was under Stratton. So we're not a Champions League club. They want to portray us as a Champions League club, but everything they do behind the scenes isn't a Champions League level, in my opinion. Everything. For him, for Desmond, for the management. Right away, the manager needs to be Champions League elite, and your Brendan Rodgers elite type of guy. Neil Lennon, everybody agreed he was good for 3 months, but he should never have took a Joe Bone. And he's arrogant, and I think he could have went and done it. And arrogant again when he was on a pure bad run. I know going, I hold my hands up. I'm sorry, I took the club as far as I go, and people that respected him. Now people are starting to dislike him day to day, and it's grown by the day. And the players' performances under Rodgers to under him, drap. All that is under his watch, or under Peter Lawwell's watch, or under Dermot Desmond's watch. And if they don't dramatically do something in the next month or two to get a new manager in and get things in place, they'll not sell 55,000 season books, I can assure you that. That's when they'll start begging and pleasing you with letters coming out, we're really sorry. I think they should be apologising for the state we're in. No in Champions League, no in Europa League, no in the League Cup. Winning the Scottish Cup just with a championship team and penalties after extra time, scraping by, and out the league. We've got a Scottish Cup to look forward to, and this was for 11th of January. People have paid £600-700. People have paid thousands of pounds for sitting in heated seats. For what? You can't turn around and tell me that's been a season they've gave. They've not even gave 6 months. They've gave us the odd couple of game in 6 months. It's a disgrace, in my opinion, a total disgrace. And the players have got to take as much blame as the management and as much as the board members, because the full lot of them have just took it for fucking granted that they were just going to turn up and win this league. That's my opinion on that.
See, to go back to Dubai a wee minute, to go back onto that, I think it was the 12th of November or something, Celtic applied to the league and whatever to go, and they get the okay. 12th of November might have been okay, different circumstances in. But surely if their liaison with the SFL or the SFA, whoever it is, surely the people that Celtic were dealing with should have fucking demanded that Celtic didn't go. I think there's got to be responsibility, not just on Celtic, but for the people that's in charge of Celtic, as in SPFL, SFA, whoever. Surely they've got to look at the big picture as well and say, look, are you really sure you want to do this? I don't think I've heard anybody else talking about that. Surely, I'm not saying Celtic's fucking, as far as I'm concerned, it's all their fault, but if they're liaison with other parties, surely they should have a communication to say, this shouldn't happen. It's morally wrong, as Ryan says. We know it's all wrong. But it's done now, and you need to live with it.
And
I get what you mean in that sense, John. I do get you on that. But deep down, Celtic have the last choice in the matter. They could probably advise Celtic on say, oh no, but then Celtic went, aye, well, we think this will be ideal, and Dubai's not really bad with COVID and stuff and now. But at the same time, everybody that was going on holiday, the only place they could go was Dubai. So it was always going to happen, in my opinion.
Also, I'd say to Ryan as well, Celtic might have had contractual reasons for going as dealt with, maybe with Adidas or whatever. But surely that could get dealt with, considering the global pandemic, right enough. They might have a contract they had to go, but I'm sure that could get dealt with, definitely.
As you say, any other club had to deal with it, had to do it.
Exactly, mate.
as I say, and obviously we were talking about transfers. With Benkovic rumored to talks, and then he went to Belgium. He spoke about the ambition in the Belgium club, and for me, that's just a big pie in the face to us. And that's him basically saying to basically us, to the fans, you knows what's happening. That's why I'm even going to enter talks with you.
What's the name of the team he's away
So,
There you go. Is that no fucking embarrassing? As you said, Robert, Celtic think they're an elite club. You've got a mid-table Belgian team stealing a player that you fancy.
And Genk took fucking Mark McKenzie, who we were meant to fancy as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I don't think, if you want a player, really want a player, you go and get the player. But Celtic humming on. They've been doing it for years. I mean, I know a boy who personally knows James McCarthy, and when he was with Hamilton, Peter Lawwell went and met him, and says to him, "Oh, big Celtic supporter, we really like you, we want to sign you, but you run your contract in with Hamilton, and then we'll sign you." Why would you say that to a boy who you think's really talented, who's the bright spark coming out of Scottish football? Run your contract in. And that's why he ended up going elsewhere, because Hamilton sold him. That's not just one occasion that's happened. This is what the Celtic play on this card. If you're a Celtic supporter, you'll just do as they say because you want to play for Celtic. But in modern football, people are going like that. Nah, why should I? They want to go and play and make more money, on which is proved with John McGinn doing it at Aston Villa.
It's something we've done for years. It's for me. It's got to stop this penny pinching. It's just, I think obviously my dad's obviously yourself lived through the 90s, and that's what it was like then. Penny pinching, free transfers, shitty loan deals, and as you're talking about, aye, and as you says, we've got to try and it's a big month to prepare, and then we get to the Hibs game, and you're thinking, right, they're a bit of a depleted team, but you go 1-0 up, free kick, brilliant. Just hold on. Again, silly free kick, Laxalt, defending, goalkeeper, not good enough for me. Book came in where he says, young boy. Fucking David De Gea, 20-year-old, Man U, debut, brilliant, still the goal there. So age doesn't matter. Carter for me is no good enough. Duffy, McGregor, I can't even tell if he was on the line, didn't clear it. Shambles, can't see games out. Game management with the club, the players, everything, the game management for me this season's been an absolute disgrace.
See regarding the on you go, Robert. On you go.
Sorry, John. No, on you go, John. Sorry.
Regarding the goal, sitting watching it with Ryan, and the guys, McGinn's come up to Laxalt, and I'm like, don't tackle him, because you know what's going to happen. Sure enough, he fouls him. Very good ball into the box, good delivery. I think it was actually McGinn that won it. Do you know he had to stoop down to header that?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have to win it. He was physically entangled with Turnbull, who wasn't strong enough. He actually stooped down to heed it, and then Duffy's panicked. Goalkeeper's come out doing his Superman impersonation. Just, it's what you expected, wasn't it? I'd have to get that free kick. You just expect
into the box. We don't deal with close balls. There's no communication in the back line and the goalkeeper. It's just everybody just madly going for what they can go for. Like the goalie, Duffy, it's just rather than Duffy saying, I'll go for it, I'll attack it, you stay in your line to the keeper, and the keeper does it. Because the keeper's thinking, he's not getting it, Duffy's thinking, he's not going for it. The two of them are in a muddle, the two of them are banging into each other to try and get the ball. It fucking makes an absolute shambles here. And it falls to Wee Nisbet and he just tucks it away. But I feel, Ryan, you're a wee bit harsh on the young boy goalkeeper. He's no great at close balls and stuff like that, but he's probably done alright if he came in. He's been faulted at 3 close balls, but I think he's no bad shot stopper. I think the boy's very young in a goalkeeper's age. He is only 22. I think the boy lacks experience. The best thing for the boy would be to go out on loan to a club and play week in, week out and iron out his faults in that sense. Just on my opinion that way. Because I didn't think the boy had a bad game other than that. I thought he was good shot stopping. He's vocal in the box, which I like about him as a young goalkeeper. And on David De Gea, the Man U fans will tell you David De Gea's not our number one, mate. He makes mistakes week in, week out at Man U, and he cost the best part of 40, 50 million. Unfortunately, goalkeepers make mistakes now, but they get criticised more than anything. And the boy at Chelsea, Kepa, he was 72 million £72 million, and Chelsea fans will tell you the mistakes he makes. Goalkeepers and defenders, in my opinion, aren't as good as they used to be in the 80s and the 90s and 2000s, where you used to have great goalkeepers through everywhere, great defenders out everywhere. Now you can't really get a good defender or a good goalkeeper. They're one every million probably now.
Aye, definitely, mate. Last wee bits of run out of time on the old Zoom here. This is your last kind of thoughts on what's been happening and obviously the future, Robert.
The future, something needs to happen dramatic in my opinion within the next 3-4 weeks. There's got to be something in place for management side yet, players side yet, recruitment. I think it needs stripped back better, needs looked at, and it needs to happen sooner rather than later because the season book renewals are up very soon, and I can't see many people willing to say we're in a pandemic again, wanting to put a hand in their pocket again because a lot of people can't afford to these days. Maybe they're not getting overtime they used to get, maybe their own furlough. You can't tell me people that's got families are going to go and fire 500, 600, 700, maybe full families are £1,200, £1,300 are going to go and give Celtic that if they're watching that season because it's just nowhere near good enough for this elite football club that they keep telling us that we are.
And obviously yourself, John.
I actually think it's going to get worse as the season gets on. I think we've drawn 5 and lost 2 league games. Losing 2 league games halfway through was probably acceptable. It's just the standard of performances and the attitude and commitment to the players, it looks like. And can I talk about Lennon for a wee second?
Aye.
See him last week shoving that snuss up his gob at the side of the park. That's how embarrassing is that? Where's the professionalism? No. Fuck me. You don't want to have back again. Brendan Rodgers is a Michael at the side of the park with a suit and all that, and this wee cunt fucking throwing tobacco in his gob with fucking gloves on. Manky looking like a tramp. Embarrassing, mate. So it was.
I agree with you, John. I agree with you. Sorry, I need to call it, lads. The old Zoom's up. So, but thanks for your time, lads. I appreciate everything you've said. We've got a special guest coming up soon. We'll iron that out and we'll get back to you soon. But thanks for your time, lads, in the Celtic Now and for our podcast. Cheers, boys.
Cheers. Right.